Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are reviewing a 2024, which doesn't sound that old, 2024 Forest River 2950 LE Sunseeker, which is very interesting. So this is on an E450 chassis. They didn't add too much to this, but I want to see how it held up. So if you look at it, what do we have on here? 55,000 miles. And in some ways I'm very impressed, and others not so much. We have an electric awning, outdoor speakers, which is nice. Not everybody gives you that. We have a little bit of storage on this guy that is locked. You got a propane tank, a little bit of storage. We've got, it's very basic overall, as one might expect. You have a little bit of pass-through storage. And what I actually like about this, while not being the biggest Forest River fan, is the fact that these materials are designed to get wet. They're not gonna mold on you. You actually have a ladder up here. Design-wise, cat eyes, kind of interesting. I do like, though, I believe you can store your Stinky Slinky right in there. That's kind of a nice thing. Let's go inside. I don't know what the tank sizes are on this, and we don't have a list of those, but not a big step up. And I actually I love and hate that, because you're probably going to hit that on something at some point, but no steps to break. Cargo carrying capacity is actually really, really, really good. And it beats our Integra Esteem by a lot, 3,212 pounds. But why is that? No slides. I love that. You guys know I love that, because it can make a cheap RV more valuable in other ways. But you add slides to a cheap RV, it's gonna completely diminish the value. But let's start up at the front. Like I said, 55,000 miles, and if you look at the front dash, simple, you got vinyl here, and it might look like you have no backup camera, but we actually have one right up here. It's an E450 chassis, so pros and cons to everything, but I personally like them. For the most part, they're utilitarian. I actually really like Class Cs, although Emma does not so much. You have a bunk over. No window. It feels dark, but you have these little side windows, and these windows do slide open on that side and slide open on this side. And I don't see a TV up here, but you do have one there. I mean, if you're sitting here on these like somewhat comfortable, whatever, you can make it work. If it's me, given what we have here, if we had the opportunity with the infrastructure, I'm taking those out, putting a desk there, and then I would have that above. That's just me. This would definitely be going, and I'd be getting maybe some like a lazy boy or two, something like that. As for couples, or even up to maybe 2-3 kids, this will work. Bed if you really need one. You can put 2 small kids up here at least, or another couple. Up here we got some storage, and you got some storage up here. And the interesting thing that I'm seeing, of course, these aren't the highest quality of cabinetry, staples, and show price on this, 95,000 bucks. In my opinion, that is too damn high. I'm not buying it at that price. Let's take a look at some of the other features, because there's a lot to learn from this. Lots and lots of cabinetry, and I really love the finish on these. It is wrapped wood. It's not great. It's gonna peel, and it is peeling in a few places, but I think it looks awesome. This, in my opinion, is the #1 reason you're not paying $95 for this. This is crazy. Huge sink, and it's metal. You got a sprayer. The whole fancy thing just needs to be tightened down a little bit. You have a wireless charger right there, which is kind of cool, but I'd rather have it on the table, in my opinion. 3-burner with a convection microwave at the bottom. Neat. And then a little pan storage down here. Pots and pans, and then you've got some storage down here, but no drawers. Definitely decent for a garbage can. This is a wrapped, this is a weird one. So it's a thermofoil. And we can actually see it's sort of wrinkly here already. We also don't have a backsplash here. And that does kind of show through. Is it easy enough to clean? Yeah, but somebody cooked spaghetti here one time. Like you can kind of tell that, and there's also no ventilation. That needs to be there. Speaking of ventilation, you do not have a cover built in, but you do have a max fan. We also have this guy listed for sale, and they didn't even clean this. Oh, it doesn't look that great. But you do have an air conditioner, and it looks like it's a GE low profile, if I'm not mistaken. You can see, and this is the nice part about the white, it makes a smaller space feel big. The downside is that it also makes it look dirty really quickly, even if it's not necessarily that dirty. You have simple controls, and I love that. I know a lot of people might like their Firefly and all that. I don't want any of that. Get that out of here. A 12-volt fridge, which is nice and cold. And really, I mean, this is more, that's the cool thing about the 12-volt. The fridges are way better than the absorption. In my opinion, they're way more efficient, as we have found out. In fact, we have a 120-volt non-absorption fridge in our bus, and that thing will run on basically 30 watts an hour. whereas our absorption on 120 runs on like 300 plus. It's like 350. It's ridiculous. These 12 volts, we've never had one, so I can't give you real numbers, but they're really a lot more efficient from what everybody said. Yeah, not going to be dovetail. You're going to see the staples and whatnot in here, but you have a lot of storage, so you know, pros and cons. If you were paying the right price for this wouldn't bother me. However, this did kind of bother Emma, and I didn't understand it either until I did. So first off, we've got 2 compartments because it's a split bath and not a lot of space in here. But again, pros and cons. So the first thing, we have magnetic and ball catches here. And this magnets over here to separate the space, which is cool. But when you come in here, we've got a small, it looks like a 24 by 36 perhaps, with little shelves that are kind of useless because they, whatever. Yeah, we can see wallpaper peeling in here because there's not good ventilation, and we do have good headroom. In my opinion, there's decent headroom, decent width. Is it usable? Absolutely. We've got a pull across here, but these do not work. These suck. They are absolutely terrible. This needs to be upgraded, and you can do that yourself, or you can, you know, work that into the deal. But they are not good. We also have like a plastic sink in here, and you do have a medicine cabinet. But on this medicine cabinet, you can see the peeling, right? So that's swelling that is happening because of moisture. You see that up here. That is what causes mold, and that's what causes, you know, bad smells, and not great to see. But why is there a sink here? Didn't quite understand that initially. But in this door over here, we actually have a separate throne, which is kind of weird. But if somebody needs to be using the bathroom while the other person is trying to brush their teeth and whatnot, well, there you go. It is a porcelain throne, and a heater vent is right here. So it might get a little warm in here. There is no vent, so, you know, and it is very dark in there. They could put a little skylight or, you know, vent or something. I don't know. So while Emma hates it, I don't entirely hate it. In something like this, like, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. It works for me. This is a queen size walk around bed, and it's pretty nice actually. So they do put carpet up here, which I don't hate because this is where my phone's going to go, my laptop's going to go, tablet, whatever. You do have a shelf up here, but there's no like utility there. There's no wireless charger or USB or anything like that. There's no 110 outlet on this wall. I don't see one on that wall. You do have USBs up here, but then you have a dangling cable, so, you know, whatever. But you do get reading lamps. I like the storage. It's the same exact thing over there, just a little bit skinnier. Some hanging rods up there. You have some drawers. I mean, the organization's pretty decent. This is kind of hard to get to from here, and I'm about 6 foot right at this position. You don't have a fan, but you do have a vent up here. I want to see a fan. This is something that you can upgrade yourself, and I would imagine they're probably running 12 volt too, that, or at least I hope they are. A simple switch for 2 puck lights in the back, and I love these windows. I know that our dogs would have good room here, and because they're smaller dogs, we would have good ventilation on either side. I love the sliding windows. It wouldn't be bad if they were the emergency egress style flip out windows that were frameless, but that's just more cost, you know, pros and cons. I kind of find it interesting, other than the fact that, of course, you would put a TV up here, but they do have an outlet up here. And this is the thing about this motorhome. You see this, you know, all this. I know that there are some people that are like, oh yeah, the thin walls are not that big of a deal, except for the fact that we are showing that this is a 2024, maybe a 2-year-old, 55,000 mile motorhome. And while it doesn't look the worst, we do have things that are peeling, like in the bathroom, like in the kitchen, and even right here. You see that cheapo paper, and then you can see under here, that's that MDF material that they go ahead and build with. So could you go ahead and flatten that back out? Yes, but in my opinion, I'd rather have kind of a nice pine, or, you know, something that is actually painted. Give me like a nice white paint that I can go to Lowe's and, you know, match, or Home Depot and whatever, that I can paint, match, and touch up if I need to. I also would have loved to see, well, obviously, better materials all around, but also like a darker down here. Like they did the gray here. Why not here? This is going to be a high kick area, and you can actually see some scuff marks and some, you know, minor marring. But I do like this. This is a really nice feature here to extend that. And I love how functional this guy is with no slides. I mean, what you see is what you get, and it's also, given that there's no slides and there's no step up. Sometimes we see the step up back there. They give you good storage, no step up. I love that. There's a lot to love about this. It's not perfect for us. So I want to know what you guys think, because, you know, after 2 years, I'd like to see something that lasts 15 years before we start to see something peeling or whatnot. But that's not always the case, and that's definitely not the offerings that we're seeing today, especially not in the Class C market. But is this one that would work for you, and especially with a cargo carrying capacity? Like, you're doing some living in here, right? And even at the right price, with the upgrades that need to be made, you could find some pretty decent value. Also less leak prone, and yeah, you're hopefully, if you get this for say, $50,000, you've got a little bit of budget to work with for a lot of folks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.